What do horses, motorcycles, and ladies have in common? If you give them bags, they can carry more stuff. What's up, everybody? SC Moto again, and today we're going to be installing these Phantom hard bags from Viking bags. Okay, so these are the gloss finish Phantom hard bags from Viking. Obviously comes in a pair. They're also available in a satin finish. They feature a locking latch. There's an external latch because these are weather sealed bags. Give you a look on the inside. See the weather stripping run around the edge. Come with a Velcro sunglass holder, which is kind of cool. So inside, in both bags, there's these detachable Velcro organizers. 3 pouches. It's got a nice touch. For those that are concerned with state laws, they do feature reflectors, one on each side. You get all the necessary installation hardware, 2 keys. And I appreciate if anybody from Viking's watching. Instead of another sticker, you get this cool little Monier bottle opener. I like that. So we're going to set up, show how this installation is done. It's pretty straightforward. I know a lot of people worried about drilling holes themselves through things, but if you line everything up, it can be simpler. Alright, so our first step is to take a number 4 Allen and remove these 2 bolts and the plastic trim on either side of the bike. Okay, so the next step, once we remove the plastic trim, is remove this 14mm and this 12mm bolt. Alright, so our next step, after we've removed these 2 bolts, I've replaced them with the ones included from Viking. I then took some cardboard, just some thick corrugated stuff. I actually used the shipping box from Viking, cut it up using these 2 fasteners on the fender, fastened it down, took some painter's tape to wrap around the back side to get it the up and down here to establish a level line. This now gives me a sight line with the top of the rear fender. So when I hold up the bag to mark it, now I'm only going to be marking the front for now, but when I hold it up to mark it, I know where the top of my factory fender is, and I can see what the curve is roughly. This gives me a better idea of where to position it to mark for the first hole. Okay, so the next step is to bring the bag over to a nice flat surface, which you have it marked. Got mine sitting on the bag. These were delivered inside bubble wrap and box. It was wrapped really well, by the way. Make sure that your mark is nice and clear, and anytime you're drilling through anything you're questionable about the finish, whether it's going to crack with a drill bit, especially with fiberglass or any kind of carbon fiber composite kind of material. Now these are, I believe this is some kind of gel coat on top. So what I did, and I learned this working for Stingray boats years ago, take 1 step smaller than you need in drill bit, drill it in reverse first. That'll work as a pilot hole, and it'll also help keep any cracking, spider webbing, anything from occurring on your finish. Then take the size you need and run it forward. So for the front hole, we're using a 3/8 drill bit. For the rear, we're going to be using a 1/4 inch though. So we're going to be using that smaller bolt that goes in the rear of the fender. So we're only drilling 1 hole at first, because this is the only one we marked under the cardboard on the back fender. We're going to run the bolt through this, temporarily install the front, and use it to hold up the weight of the bag so we can line this up properly in the rear to mark it here. That way we can ensure everything's nice and level and lines up properly. Okay, so in the following step, we mounted the bag using just the front bracket to be able to determine the level for the rear. Bored that through, test fit it on the bike, make sure it's going to work. Now we're going to use the supplied brackets to mark the bottom. So if all this seems really tedious, it is. Just a lot. But you really want to make sure you get this right. Soft bags are a little more forgiving. Hard bags, it kind of shows up if they're not level or if they don't follow the flow of the bike, at least somewhat. So, good news is you only have to do all this once. Once this is done, you can set both bags side to side and mark the holes, transfer them to the second bag. Both bags pre-bored, we're ready to start assembly. So we're going to be using these metal brackets, these threaded portions with their screws, flat washer, and these brackets. I'm going to pre-run the bolts through the top. Excuse me, about the camera. With a locking washer and a flat washer. Push that through the holes. If it's a little snug, just kind of twist and thread it through. Okay, now we're going to hang the bracket on the bolts on each side. Take the screw, put it through the bracket, and find your hole, push that through the back side. Take the threaded insert, place that in the bottom of the bracket, and if you drilled everything as precise as possible and tightly, this is going to be a little bit difficult, but get lined up. But just start it there and repeat it for the back side. So we'll use a common or flat screwdriver on this side and a 10mm socket on the other side to tighten up the bottom. Just don't go too crazy with it. They don't need to be super tight. Just tight enough they're not going to back out. Alright, so I got them installed. Wasn't too terrible of a job to do. It looked pretty good. Followed the lines of the bike pretty good too. I did notice a little rough patch at the finish, a light scratch, but I'm getting them painted anyway, so wasn't too concerned with that. But they turned out nice. Probably the best looking bags I could find for the Vulcan. So if you like the video, please subscribe, like and comment below.